my name is Bookan, and today we're going to be reviewing this book, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was written by J.K. Rowling and is an amazing companion to the original Harry Potter series. I was thinking up and writing the script of this review, and I had no idea where to start on the things that are so good about this book. But mainly, I want to talk about the issue that this book solves, which would be the massive lack of beasts in Harry Potter. In the original series, there is barely any beasts. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the movie franchise, has remedied this a lot. But even so, there isn't that many beasts because you simply can't fit that many into a 2-hour movie or a even 500-page book. You can't fit that many if you're trying to figure out like Harry stopping Voldemort and whatnot. But this book really does that more. It adds a level of perspective for if you go back and read the original series again after reading this. For example, when I was reading Chamber of Secrets, it was just a totally new perspective. When they were cleaning up the gnomes in the Weasley's garden, I totally thought about it more after I read the description of the gnomes in this book, and it adds another layer of perspective. Because if we look at it seriously, there are only a couple, maybe 5 beasts that are mentioned repetitively and constantly through the Harry Potter series. There's the basilisk, which pretty much has an entire series dedicated to it, so that's pretty major, I'll admit. And then there's the spiders from the first book, the Philosopher's Stone, and okay, those are pretty major as well. And then there's the dragons, which show up once or twice in the later books. But even if you consider all of these, there still isn't that many, which is the point I really wanted to make. Another thing I really liked about this is how they showed just the animals, the beasts in this book, and how they affected our Muggle world. It's one of the things I love about the Harry Potter franchise. It shows what the wizarding world has done to affect the normal world. For example, when they were talking about the dodo, or the Durquell, as it's known, it was interesting to see that apparently the Ministry of Magic had decided to let the Muggles think it was extinct because it raised their awareness about the environment. It was just such a cool, it might be tiny, but it was actually quite a fun and quirky thing to know. Another cool thing was the way they used the Ministry of Magic. In the main books, the Ministry of Magic, after the fifth book really, is shown as being very corrupt and very bad. There are many major villains that live in the Ministry of Magic. For example, you have Umbridge Fudge in the earlier books. So that was an interesting part because in this book, in the first chapter, it's all about the Ministry of Magic and how they qualified which animals should be called beasts and a couple other things. So it really shows you the level of work that the Ministry of Magic does. And they're not all just corrupt people. Basically, as a summary of what I've said altogether, this book really expands the Harry Potter universe. From being just mainly there were no beasts and it was quite boring on the animal front, and it was just dragons and a couple snakes and spiders. It's gone from that to this amazing array of snakes and other monsters, and it's just very interesting. Speaking of this, another thing I loved was the drawings in this book. They're just sketched to so much detail, and actually, they give you a lot more area on imagining the way these characters act and how they behave. I really like this one of a Jarvie, as it shows the Jarvie looking over its prey. So, overall, I would say that this book is a really good companion book to the rest of the Harry Potter series and should really be read if you're ever going to try and reread the Harry Potter series. It also goes really well hand in hand with Quidditch Through the Ages, Quidditch Through the Ages is also a book that expands on some of the left behind principles of the other books of the original Harry Potter series. So, So, to recap, this book is amazing for expanding the universe. It really gives another level of depth onto what you read in the original books. That for those reasons, and the fact of the drawings and a couple other things that really add to the description, I think this book is an easy 4.5 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5 rating on the channel. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, as it really helps out the channel a lot. Thanks for watching.